Am I the a-hole for letting my ex-boyfriend dump me when he thought I had massive debt? I have been keeping an Excel workbook for years that I use to organize my personal finances. Every month, it shows the total expenses, total paid, and total remaining. It's not only helpful for budgeting and remembering when stuff is due, but it also removed a ton of anxiety I had around money and the nightmares I used to have that I would forget to pay something important. I used to have panic attacks, but they were cured by Excel. Every month, I put about half the money I make into savings: IRA, HSA, vacation savings, quarterly tax savings, and emergency fund. My only debt is about $500 of a surprise $1,500 vet bill and my car loan, which has a payment of $200 per month and will be paid off next year. I could pay off the car and vet bills right now, but having an emergency cushion that could cover all my bills for 3 to 5 months makes me feel safe. I give myself a weekly allowance of $150 that I can spend however I want: dates, movies, going out with friends, etc. Since my ex and I were becoming a little more serious after 6 months, we had a discussion where we decided that if things progressed, our finances would be separated, and if we moved in together, we would both pay half of all expenses. This would save us both a lot of money monthly. Well, he used my laptop where I keep the Excel document minimized. He accidentally brought it up, and here is where the conflict began. I put everything on my credit card every month. I really want to be able to travel, and getting mile rewards is the only way I can justify the expensive flights to the places I really want to explore. I put everything: rent, groceries, gas, utilities, even my quarterly taxes on it. Last year, I was even able to redeem a ticket for a friend to go with me to France. I covered all the flights as well as half the Airbnb. I can't put the car payment or vet bill on the card, but everything else goes on my miles card, which I then pay off a couple of days after paying my bills when the balance settles. I put the amount that would generally equal my credit card balance after paying bills in a spreadsheet as well, mainly as a reminder to pay the balance because I'm paranoid that I'll forget to pay it 1 month. Remember, this is a therapeutic spreadsheet. However, he saw all my expenses laid out and the total at the bottom and thought my expenses were nearly double what they are, since the total includes the credit card payment. I guess he also assumed that the credit card payment was the monthly minimum or something, which would have made the balance insane. He also noted that I had Macy's, VS Secret, and Best Buy lines in the spreadsheet and assumed I had maxed out retail cards. Although the amount to pay was at zero, I just leave them to remind me when the due date is, in case I use them to get something discounted. So he stewed on it for a few days and then sat me down, said he had been thinking about what he found, and told me that he couldn't stay with me if I was going to be irresponsible, and that if I didn't start calling every credit card I had right then in front of him to cancel and shred the cards in front of him, then he would break up with me. He kept talking over me about it. I tried to tell him about my savings and the fact that my actual debt was less than $4,000. He didn't believe me, called me a liar, and said he couldn't trust me, so he dumped me. I cried with some friends who were shocked, since I have sat down with several of them who have asked to help set up a similar system of their own to help pay down debt and start saving. I guess the truth got back to him. He was mad that I let him break up with me. Even though he makes more than me, I am much better off than him apparently, and he is really upset, since if we had moved in together, I would have been completely capable of covering my half, and he would have liked that I had a pretty large chunk in savings. I had also told him I would get us both tickets to Italy for our 1-year anniversary. I honestly don't know if I am the a-hole or not. I could have explained the situation more clearly and calmly, and been a little more forthcoming and transparent with my finances from the start. However, the moment I was confronted, I felt completely blindsided. I felt like my privacy had been violated, and I felt that receiving an ultimatum without even hearing me out was a deal breaker for me. But now my friends are expressing that I may be passing up a nice guy over a misunderstanding, and that if his assumptions were correct, he would have been right. I feel like I don't want to spend time with someone who would talk to me that way, but maybe I should work a little harder to make it work? Am I the a-hole? Now for the top comments. not the a-hole, and you dodged a real bullet. You can't build a life with someone whose first instinct is to accuse you and dump you. You told him the truth. He refused to believe you. Do you realize how messed up that is? If my husband found something like this and misunderstood, he wouldn't even dream of doing this. He would simply want to discuss it with me. His reaction tells you everything you need to know about him. He's just mad now because you could be paying half the bills, and he could be saving more money. Don't even think about going back to this guy. You told him the truth. He refused to believe you. Do you realize how messed up that is? Not to mention just stupid. Like he wholeheartedly believed the spreadsheet she created, but not her explanation of how it was set up and works. You saved yourself from a partner who cannot handle adult discussions and may leave you at the drop of a hat. He also doesn't have personal introspection or accountability. He has no clue about money management either. I think part of the reason he is so angry is because if we moved in and I paid half of everything, it would have cut his own bills by almost half. I had also said that when we hit the 1-year anniversary, I would get us tickets to Italy. He's always wanted to go, as well as pay half of a reasonable Airbnb. I don't think he has a lot of debt. I know that he has a truck payment that is pretty high every month, but he also spends every dime he has. He will have a pension when he retires, but no real savings. He's very proud that he doesn't have any credit cards. I've tried to talk to him about using them responsibly to build credit and get rewards, but that's an area he would get really aggressive about and say that no one can just pay off their balance every month. Next story. Am I the a-hole for not skipping a work trip because my husband is recovering from a hair transplant? My husband flew overseas for a hair transplant. We have 2 children under 7. I work full-time in a stressful corporate role. He never plans or researches in advance. I am supposed to go on a work trip for 2 days to a 2-day work planning retreat. It is important exposure. He will be post-op for 3 days by the time I leave. Last night, he texted that he needed me to cancel my trip because he is recovering from surgery, to put him first, and I'm going to be beyond mad if you do this to me and do not put me first the one time I am asking, and that if I go, he won't take the kids to school. His head may be sore and bald, but should not impede a pickup and drop off. My trip has been planned for about 6 months. His main gripe is that he will be seen so close to surgery. He did not need to choose this date, and up until yesterday, this was the plan. He told me my trip is stupid. I put everyone first, but I don't think I need to stay home and miss something so important for this. And I also think it is selfish to be saying this to me. I am always impacted by his last-minute changes and impulses. I am supportive of doing something that makes him feel better about himself, but why should I miss this last minute? Am I being selfish, or is he being selfish? He's being selfish as heck. For trying to guilt you over a hair transplant he planned poorly. Go on your trip, he'll survive. He is manipulating you to do what he wants. Tell him to either cancel his operation and be a grown man, or go through the surgery and be a responsible adult and do what he needs to do for his family. Either way, tell him to grow up. Concentrate on your career. You'll need the income later. Not the a-hole. He is not bedridden. He is not bleeding out. He is not even recovering from something you agreed to or planned around. He literally chose to book a cosmetic surgery without coordinating with you during a time when he has actual parenting duties. And now he's holding your career hostage because what? He's embarrassed to go outside with a healing scalp? This man is not asking for support. He's demanding sacrifice. And the second you push back, he threatens to not take care of his own kids. That's not about being post-op. That's about control. And if you keep letting him do this, it's never going to stop. You deserve a partner who respects your time, your job, your life. Go on the trip. Let him sit with his choices and his ice pack. If he could fly home from overseas, he's fine. My plane back from Turkey was about 50% full of hair transplant trippers. They all seem to have managed the flight home okay. Next story. Am I the a-hole for abandoning my so-called family after discovering the truth? I'm a 32-year-old man, and I've been married since I was 20. My wife and I have a son who's 9 now. She's the same age as me. Lately, I found out that my wife has been cheating on me. I caught her red-handed. I won't go into the details, but I had suspected it for a while. She was just very good at hiding it and lying. We decided to stay together for our son, and we're halfway trying to work things out. During that time, I was living in a hotel. One night I ran into her best friend, someone who's known for sleeping around, and we ended up drinking and hanging out. She stayed over at my hotel room, but nothing happened. She did try to kiss me, but I couldn't go through with it. The next morning, my wife showed up unexpectedly. We ended up having a huge fight. There was a lot of yelling. The police got called, and I got kicked out of the hotel. In the middle of the fight, she shouted that our son wasn't even mine. At first, I thought she was just trying to hurt me, but I couldn't shake it, so I got a DNA test. She wasn't lying. What made it worse was learning that 2 years ago, the real father had threatened to take her to court unless she let him see the kid. Since then, she's been taking our son to see his biological dad once a month, and I had no idea. What hurt most was that my son knew this whole time and never told me. That night, I packed up and left. I haven't spoken to either of them in over 6 months. Edit. To clear things up, yes, it's been 6 months since I left. For those worried, I'm not going to do anything reckless. I appreciate the concern. Honestly, the heartbreak from my son hit harder than anything my wife did. I always expected she might betray me, but not him. Him keeping that secret from me broke something inside me. It's hard to believe anything anyone says anymore. I don't think I'll ever fully trust people again. Since then, life's been rough. I quit my job when it all happened. I've been arrested twice for a public intoxication. Now, I'm living in my car, trying to get by with DoorDash and Instacart. Money's tight. I'm hoping I can afford a hotel room soon, just to have a bed again. As for my son, he seems okay from what I can tell on Facebook. I don't think my wife got into a relationship with the bio dad, but it looks like our son is spending a lot of time with him now. As for me, I'm just lost. That's the truth. Now for the top comments, not the a-hole, and go full-on nuclear with a divorce because you should have filed for a divorce when you caught her, instead of staying married to a cheater. Expose her to everyone she knows, and sue the real dad for knowingly letting you raise his kid. Depending where OP is, there are jurisdictions which allow you to sue for paternity fraud if she knew the kid wasn't his, but convinced him into believing it is. That's easy. The OP said that his soon-to-be ex-wife took the kid to see his real dad, so that answers your question. Life hasn't been easy since then. I obviously quit my job when it happened. Have you looked into assistance for someone in your situation? I mean shelters and such, as well as financial help? The kid broke my heart more than she did. Genuinely, I know he's 9 and should know at least in part of right and wrong. However, it sounds like he's been told that it's a secret and he's not allowed to tell you. Probably with a threat of punishment of some sort that he really doesn't want to happen. That's not his fault. That's the fault of his mom. I know it hurts that he didn't tell you anything in the past 2 years, but know that if threatened, kids will keep things from people the best they can for as long as is necessary. Speaking from experience, it takes a lot to speak against the one who made the threat, and it's terrifying to do so. If he wasn't threatened, then I'm really sorry he went along with it. He may have made a promise to his mom to not say anything, but either way, it's painful. I'm sorry you're going through this. I would definitely look into therapy when you're able, and support groups can be helpful too. Take care of yourself. After making this post, I think I will get back in touch with him soon somehow. I don't believe he's being threatened, but apparently people do all kinds of things I didn't expect. As for me, I prefer my car and privacy over shelters and the occasional hotel. Last story. Am I the a-hole for telling my ex-mother-in-law that I have a full right to move on? I, 36 male, was married to my ex-wife Sarah, then 30 female for 4 years. We share a son called Jerry, then 2 male. Approximately 6 years ago, she ran away with Jerry. We were going through contentious divorce proceedings, and she had filed for 100% full custody. When she realized I was also filing for 50-50 custody, she completely disappeared along with Jerry. She was supposed to drop him off one weekend evening, and she just didn't. 24 hours later, after she didn't show up, I filed a missing persons report. Because we had a custody order in place and she, presumably, crossed state lines in violation of it, she was charged with a felony. However, and this is where it's the weirdest part, it's as if she has completely disappeared without any trace. The police and the FBI have been actively searching for the past 5 years, but there were absolutely zero leads whatsoever. The cops declared it a cold case, even though they haven't stopped investigating. According to laws of our jurisdiction, after a year, thus 7 years since the event, both of them would be declared legally dead. I've been living my life in limbo. I don't know whether my son is alive or dead. He'd be 8 next week. I miss him so freaking much. He was the light of my life. However, I realized I couldn't live like this forever. I started dating again and have gotten to a stable and healthy relationship with my current girlfriend. She knows everything. However, my ex-mother-in-law found out. She had been very supportive and helpful in my search. She still holds out hope that her daughter and grandson are alive and will come back, and told me that I'm betraying their memory. I told her I have a right to move on. Am I the a-hole? Dude, there are a myriad of issues bigger than you dating. Are you okay? I cannot imagine my ex disappearing with our children, then never seeing them again. To address the dating thing, your mother-in-law is a moron. You're supposed to spend the remainder of your life alone because she thinks it would betray their memory? No, dude, live your life and try to find some happiness. You've lived in this nightmare long enough. I'd create social media account and post birthday wishes, Merry Christmas, etc. So when he returns, he'll know you never forgot about him. Keep a journal or create an email and send emails about him so you can give him the email to read when he returns. I'm so sorry the hell you're going through. Just because you are finally moving on doesn't mean you've given up looking or thinking about your little boy. Not the a-hole. I wish you all the best and pray one day your son returns. Not the a-hole. But I call BS on the ex-mother-in-law not knowing where her daughter and grandson is. Get an aged photo of your son created, and then pay for an ad on Facebook and YouTube, and post both Sarah's and Jerry's updated photos in the vids. If they are out there, the ads will reach the people they know. Next, for the ex-mother-in-law, what has been her traveling history since the duo went missing? Any trips? Or do her friends go on periodic trips? If mother-in-law was involved, then either a family member or close friend helped. Any other female relatives or a close female friend? I say this one, since me and my sister can use each other's IDs and no one would notice. Same with an old BFF from high school. Anyone having issues with stolen identities? Also, invest in a private investigator and have them check mother-in-law's finances and see if any random payments are going out. Yeah, I'm going to say she's taking an opportunity to make you feel bad because she can, but I also think she knows where they are.